Welcome to Enlightened AF. I'm Tricia Carr.
And I'm Aidan Demarest.
And we have a really fun show today. We have a repeat in-studio guest. Aidan, you don't have that many repeat visitors, do you?
Not since I got divorced.
He's a hit him and quit him kind of guy.
A little into.
Hit him and quit him.
Oh, look at you, dove right in.
Who's
our repeat?
David.
Should we check through the lost and found? It's David.
David Gandelman is
David
here.
Lawrence Gandelman.
Lawrence is your middle name?
That's
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Really?
Yeah.
It's my dad's middle name.
What?
Nice, right?
Wow.
We have so much synchronicity going on today,
cool.
and in general. So we have intuitive podcaster, spiritual teacher. What all the things that you call yourself? You don't know. Right?
Actually, I coach entrepreneurship. I
Yeah.
teach meditation.
Yeah.
I do intuitive readings and healing work. Too many things.
That I do a lot of things too.
Yeah.
I mean, I do animal work
You
too.
do so many things. Ridiculous.
I don't do so
She
many more.
said I do
She's-
animal work.
Tricia's really good at just like running, like project management,
Yes.
running
You
businesses.
think so?
Yeah, you're. We sit
That's
down to
crazy.
eat lunch sometimes, and she just goes off on how she creates all these things. I'm just blown away.
I think you're thinking of you at our lunches.
No.
That's what you sound like at our lunches.
That's why we have
like that.
very engaging lunches.
Do you?
Yeah, we're both like,
Yeah.
what 14 things are you creating this week?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Right?
Get in on it. Come on, Aidan.
I'm on board. I
Get
love
in
the whole
get in
thing.
the
right?
water's nice.
There's some stuff in the works.
And you're
Great stuff in the works.
currently like unemployed. So you're
It's so fucking
Oh, I heard
awesome.
about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
He loves
How do you
being
feel?
unemployed.
Yeah, really
What have you
good.
done the last few days now that you have no work?
Oh, it's so good. Well, it's not like I don't have work yet, but it was always my business, but I just finished that client.
Yeah.
So,
he's a
who
private
was
contractor, so he's
all-
between contracts. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we want to get you a different
call that
kind of
unemployed.
contracting.
If anyone out there listening could give Aidan a job, call. What's the number?
323-524-2599. Actually, y'all can call in.
Yeah, let's hear about jobs.
You can do an interview
No, I'm
right
not
here
looking for a job. I'm
live.
actually looking forward to taking this month off.
Okay.
We actually, and by the way, everyone, so we are broadcasting live at 2 p.m. today. We normally broadcast live at 7 p.m. And of course, you can catch the archive versions published as a podcast on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, I believe, any way that you get your podcast. And you can also watch us both live and in the archived or the published versions on YouTube. So look for Enlightened AF Podcast, and you'll be able to catch up with us. Like I say, it's normally 7 p.m., but Aidan switched it to 2 today. And surprise to those of you who are in our Facebook group and stuff like that. We do have a Facebook group. You'll get notices about when we are going up, except for today. We just snuck in on you. What's that called?
Sometimes we'll let you just sneak it in the
Sometimes
back
you just
door,
gotta
right?
slip
Aidan?
in the back
just
door.
Sneak it in. Hey,
There-
man.
That's better a surprise.
Like the stealth, right? Well, no, the stealth is something else. Oh, are we going to do that? Are we going to talk about urban sex positions?
Yeah.
Aidan, do you know them all?
No, I don't actually.
What are urban
I probably
sex
know
positions?
them all. You know, just like the names of them all.
Just
the
like-
steeple. You know,
The
things like
Eiffel
that.
Tower.
Like,
The
do you know what the
roasted-
dolphin is?
The pig roast.
No.
It's when you're trying to slip it in the back and she goes,
Ah.
for example.
Enlightened as fuck.
How about spit roasting?
Okay,
God,
well,
I don't know if
I
I
can-
wanna-
I
Roasting is
imagine.
phenomenal. Mm.
It's kind of like a devil's three-way, but with a rotation
What
involved.
the hell are you guys talking about? I feel like
we
a
have
choir
newbie.
boy.
We have a newbie
He's
here.
so
Don't-
sweet.
I know about the
Devil's-
rodeo.
He probably knows them all about.
The rodeo?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to a rodeo.
I think it's when you get on a girl and then you call her by the wrong name and see how long you can hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay on the butt.
That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
I've
I
just
like that.
lost all my students. All my
Yeah,
students are
he's
gone
so
now.
centered and kind. That's my favorite part.
Well,
Yeah,
speaking of
that's my
sleeping with
shtick.
people, we actually wanted to
Yes.
talk today about sleeping in general, whether
Yeah.
with someone or by yourself. But we're really literally the sleep part of it because, okay, so here's the synchronicity. This is what it's like when you are in the flow of the universe, is that you just live in synchronism, perfect synchronism. So
Is that a word? Synchronism?
that's a word. Yeah. And
I think it's a religion.
Synchronism.
it's not.
Synchronism.
It does sound like one, huh?
It's not a
Like
religion. Well, it's
Scientology?
my religion. I live in
Christiani-
perfect
like
synchronism.
Christianism?
No, perfect synchronism is a,
I
is
hear
a
you.
thing.
I'm a Jewishism.
Jewishism?
Yeah. I come from the
That's
old.
called jism.
The old. That's a different thing, Aidan. That's a different thing.
That's a different thing. That's the new dating app that you need to start.
Jism.
Oh, is that what you guys talking about at lunch? Talking about starting dating apps
Dating
too?
apps.
No, he
There's-
just is always
Like
invited
there's not
onto
enough?
them.
There should be dating apps for animals.
What?
It should be like a dating app for giraffes.
you
giraffes,
could do that.
bigandtall.com.
Because pets, people,
Big and tall.
people
Oh my
would be-
God, his
are looking to
tongue's so
mate
long.
their pets. You could set up a mating.
There is one.
That's called breeding.
There-
No,
there
but,
is an
yeah,
app
but how do we know that
for
the
that
the
already.
dogs are into it? They might be like, oh, this was not my style.
No, he means like not people with animals dating one another. He means like having
animals.
animals, do each other.
Sniffme.com for dogs.
No, I didn't mean bestiality thing. I meant like people
I
who
know,
are
I
breeding
know.
their pets.
I said
Although
animals.
for fun, you might as well video it.
So
Face. He was like,
he's like
Okay,
waiting for you
So
to.
let's get back to synchronicity. Speaking of me starting that business tomorrow, www.watchmydogfuck.com.
It probably is taken already.
I thought it was fuckmydog.com. All right.
Ew, no.
No, that's already taken.
No. All our animal communicator listeners were just like, fuck you guys. We're out. This is terrible. We started
Yeah.
on a really low.
We started low.
Low bar. Now we're just
But
getting
Let's
darker
explain
and
why
darker.
we started low.
Okay, so today, no, it was actually just yesterday. Aidan texted me like, "Can we do the show at 2 and not 7?" And I'm fine and figured it out.
I didn't
so
sound like that.
And so we,
I said,
Tricia,
hey, if
Carr,
it
this
works,
is Aidan.
super upbeat.
I was wondering if we can do the show.
I totally look. I could go back. I was like, "Hey, if it works, if not, no worries."
no, I know.
I'm working on an animal fucking app, and I need extra time.
There's a
That's it.
squirrel in my butt.
That was too real.
Just for some reason, the actual truth. And
I
so,
told you I'm tired.
So he texted you like, "Oh, can we move the show?" So we moved the show, and then so our darling David, he did Enlightened AF 2-3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
And then
You
he
can go back and see that one.
Then he promptly scheduled himself to never be able to do it again because he scheduled himself. He teaches every single Thursdays at 7, which is the
Yeah,
time that we
at the
do
Den,
our
yeah.
show. Yes, at Den Meditation in you do it in Studio City.
Yeah,
there are 2
Thursdays
locations.
there.
Yeah,
Mm.
So
Yeah.
plugging them for
I
no
wish we
reason.
went to that one. That was close to my job.
Yeah,
Ex job.
we will next time.
I'll go to that one.
And so then I was like, oh, hey David, we're gonna do the show at 2 tomorrow. Do you want to come? And David's like trying to figure it out. We were literally just figured it out this morning, so that all worked out. And he thought he was gonna be late, but he actually beat me. So
Side note, real
Yeah.
quick. On the way up here, I had the best Uber driver
Oh,
anyone's
good.
ever had. He was the security guard to like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre
Wow.
and Master P for like decades.
did you get a contact high just by?
Oh my God, he
being
told
an
me
Uber
Did he
amazing
smoke weed?
fucking stories.
Yeah.
No, but it was
How
like
far did
30
you come
minutes
from?
since for Miracle Mile. It took like
Okay.
half an hour. I just heard for the last 30 minutes, I heard the
All
most
good
amazing
stories.
stories. It was pretty cool.
That is cool.
anyway, I'm still
that's
high
awesome.
from it. So sleep, yeah.
So no, there's still a bit of the synchronism. So then,
Oh, yeah,
so then
synchronism.
David figured out how to get in, and then like I called Aidan and I said, okay, I have 2 minutes to talk to you about what we're going to talk about today on the show. We have David coming in, so it'll
the
be
hell are we
fun.
talking about?
And Aidan said, well, I don't know, I didn't sleep very well last night. I said, stop, that's it, that's perfect. David just launched his sleep podcast yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I love it.
It's called Grounded Sleep.
It's really good. I actually listened to it while I was not trying to sleep, while I was moving around in the
cool.
world, and it's lovely for that as well. So because if you're driving or something like that, it's not going to actually put you to sleep.
It's
But I think it
calming down a
induces. It's meditative. You know what I mean? And that's what
Yeah.
sleep is anyway. It's a different way of being in the non-physical aspect of your being.
Absolutely. And then one of the biggest questions I always get is like, I have trouble sleeping. How can I sleep better? Are there good meditations for that? And I was like, I will make some for you. So we launched it, and I was like, well, it'd be great if somebody paid for this podcast. So I reached out to my big brother, Big Al Gandelman. He is very Jewish. What's up, Al? And he has a
He really is his big brother.
yeah, he is
I put
my
that
literal
together.
big brother, and he has a CBD company. He has a couple 100-acre farm in upstate New York. He grows hemp. And
Okay.
he's a mad scientist when it comes to this stuff. And he's like, yeah, the CBD company will sponsor a sleep podcast. That sounds like a natural
perfect.
partnership.
Yeah.
Listen to me and drop a little CBD.
Yeah.
I just made that up right now.
Oh,
Yeah, so
he's
good.
just a marketing
It's
genius.
this. Oh my God.
That's
Make sleep
awesome.
great again. Just thought of that now too.
Masa. You're going to make a masa.
Masa.
Masa
Can we
hat.
talk about the idea of the spin on your show that I thought
Mosca.
we should have
What's
that I
the
might
spin?
do? Pounded sleep,
Pound instead of grounded
which is
sleep,
also a
pounded
deep
sleep.
night's sleep.
Not necessarily for women.
Yeah.
After we have sex, we could go to sleep. We could, go for another round. We could go for a run around the block. We could watch
You can paint a portrait.
it. Yeah, it's completely.
Or you could
there's-
start cooking breakfast for me. This is a great opportunity. Hence, I'm sleeping like a brick because I smell waffles cooking with all
Are
that
there
energy.
any other demographics we could offend? before we-
Get to that kitchen floor.
Aidan does all of the demographics except the legal ones, and so I meant to say he does all of the legal ones, not except the legal ones.
I was going to say,
So
wait, what?
he can definitely offend all of them equally.
I know.
He's an equal opportunity offender.
How do you guys sleep?
How do I sleep?
How do you get to sleep? Yeah, like what's your
True.
routine?
Here's what we were talking about. Is that I am like super. I'm having a great week, and I find my schedule finally lightened up. And the one good thing of the fact that I'm not sleeping well this week is that I was drinking a shitload of coffee. I was,
that does not help.
a ton of coffee, and I was working till 2-3 in the morning, and then I'm a single dad, so I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning taking my kid to school.
Oh, it was insane. He was on
He's a DILF.
3.
He's a DILF.
Yeah. He was on 3 hours sleep.
For a lot of last year. So
That's insane.
Wow.
that has ended abruptly this week, and I got some good sleep. So this is it was a weird precursor. That's what I was explaining to her. I got some really good
And
sleep.
how do you do it?
I'm pretty good. I fall asleep very
I
well.
mean, do you take
What is-
something? What's your
what's your
No,
ritual?
I take nothing. I do.
Do you have TV or radio or anything on? Do you read?
Sometimes, if I'm really stressed, I do TV and food like that circuit, which is not my favorite scenario.
Yeah.
My favorite scenario is to read for like 15 minutes.
What
And,
what do you read?
whatever super dull book is on the side of my bed. Sometimes it's there for years. I had a book.
Dostoevsky.
No, I
For 7
actually,
years.
it's going to sound really weird,
Crime
but
and
I
Punishment.
actually have this great book that a friend of mine gave me that I got for my birthday last year, which was this week. And I've been trying to get through it, and it's full of all this.
Oh shit! When's your birthday?
It was Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I again thought about
happy
texting you about it, but
birthday,
you don't know him that well
Aidan.
yet.
It was my
Fuck.
birthday.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Right? And I keep trying to read it, and it's all about spirituality. It's like all the different forms of spirituality, and like little, like
Oh, that's
10
cool.
chapters on each one. So there's like Buddhism and Taoism and all this.
Oh, I like that.
It's a really
survey.
interesting book. Can't even remember the name of it. I get like a paragraph into it every night.
And then good night.
But I can sleep really well, and I also
That's
have
actually
this-
good material to go to sleep to, though.
It's really good. Some of it sticks
like
with
to
me.
read that stuff before bed
Yeah.
too, or listen to something like that.
And I'll listen to something. But I also, as a pretty young, before I started just drinking myself to sleep for a lot of years. But
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I can say I sort of have a self-hypnosis thing. I
Yeah.
say the word flatline,
Whoa, that's weird.
and I fall asleep.
Because flatlining is like
That's
death.
dead.
I know. I know.
Are you
Works like a
wishing for
charm.
death every
Yeah,
night before
exactly.
It
sleep?
works like a charm.
That's
Yeah.
weird, Aidan.
I
That's
just
weird.
say the word
We gotta
flatline.
We got to talk about this.
No,
we
and
gotta-
and then I picture that line going across, and then I fall asleep.
Okay, so he's repurposed the meaning of it.
It's perfect.
He's
Okay.
redefined it.
Okay,
Yeah.
what about you, Tricia? What's your? It's my welcome to my show,
yeah.
Enlightened as
Da-
fuck.
Da-
Let me ask my guests
David
some
is-
questions.
It's what's he
Interview.
asking the
Fucking
question.
asshole! What an asshole!
Right?
You don't ask
about
me
to
when
ask
I
you.
sleep.
Wait.
No, it's cool. I was going to ask
Yeah.
you next, but I figured you were going to ask. Okay.
Yeah. What about your sleep?
No.
All right. So okay. Well, it's a time when Brian and I chat a little bit, obviously, and there's a lot of playing with Aidan, kitty cats, and I
With
mean
me,
my
I've
literal.
never been in their bed.
One of my literal cats. One of my kitty cats. It's like his special time. Because
He's in the cat is involved in the.
this.
Up.
Oh, that actually we've already told that story. That's a different cat, and he
Was involved in there.
yeah, he likes to come and pay attention to us while we're doing that. And actually, that was this morning. This morning, we were like, we forgot to close the
I
door.
cover my ears, but I have headphones on.
You can't. It's inside
No,
your
it-
head.
No.
It's inside your head.
Franzi like walks in the
that-
bedroom, and Brian's like, no,
That-
come
that's
on,
It
because
adds
they're
that
like
new
for sure
meaning
he
to
was
the
gonna.
term kibbles and bits.
That's for dogs. Yeah, one of our cats, he's a little too interested.
Next time I see Brian, I'm gonna be like, I was just thinking about you having sex, buddy. How are you?
Brian gets all the pussy.
He's the only one who gets any in this room.
All right, so no, that's I guess we have little pillow talk, little laughing, and then one of my cats is his special time, and then the lights go off. I always stay up later than Brian, and so I always fall asleep to sitcom, but before I totally fall asleep, I pause it, I sit up, and I do a short meditation and prayer to set intention for my sleep, and then I turn a timer on the sitcom, and then I fall asleep. But I've had the sitcom going since I was like 15. And it's usually
What's the sitcom?
right now it's when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I would watch old episodes of Cheers because that was in syndication at like late at night when I was a kid.
I heard of that.
Yeah,
Cheers.
yeah.
Oh,
That's where you
such a
got your
great show.
start, isn't it?
Well, it is in Boston.
Yeah.
And what's
Right down
weird
the
is
street
that,
from that bar.
Exactly.
and what's
Right?
weird is lately I've been watching Frasier, which was like a spin-off of Cheers.
Oh, that'll put
Cheers.
you to sleep. Frasier will
That's
put you to
exactly.
sleep.
I know. That's exactly when I started watching it.
Such a lame
Totally.
show.
No, it's really good actually. But that's exactly what I said to Brian. I was like, Frasier puts me right out, and he laughed, and I was like, it's a great show. It's a really good sitcom, but it
Yeah.
puts me
I've
right
had
out.
sitcoms over the years, especially when the kids were little, that I would just zone out. Friends.
Yes.
I would watch Friends.
Oh,
'cause it was all
Friends. Yeah, I've
on.
watched the shit out of some Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I watch Star Trek before bed.
Does that put you to sleep? It can
Hey,
put you to sleep.
ladies.
Because that would put you to sleep, I think, because it's actually kind of slower
As soon as you get
paced.
done with your
It is slower.
Sudoku or whatever it is.
What's
Sudoku.
It's a mind puzzle
math game
Oh,
for
Yeah,
nerds.
it's a
I know
math
about that
game.
one.
Yeah.
Sudoku.
So that's what I
You've
do.
never heard of it?
No.
And Russian Jews love it. Get on the stick, Dave.
Russian Jews love Sudoku.
They do. It's a thing.
Shit.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, and it seems
Okay.
to work. I sleep really well, and then every now and again. So I think I talked to you about this a couple of weeks ago. Every now and again, if I get a tiny little spot of insomnia, like I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm not falling back asleep, I will usually roll around for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then I sit up and I do my meditation prayer, and then I go right back to sleep. But I don't know why I spend that whole 45 minutes like not just doing the thing that always puts me right back to sleep.
Yeah, I do the
Such
same.
a waste
We
of
all
time.
do that.
Yeah.
We like fight it.
You
until-
fight it and don't do it. If I drink a
Yeah.
cup of tea, if I wake up,
Oh, I can't do tea.
if I get some tea, why?
Tea.
Like
I can't
chamomile.
drink tea after. Oh yeah. Sorry.
Not regular tea. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't get up and make tea. But if not, but I'll lay around for an hour
I usually have to get up and
and
make
not
tea.
do it and be irritated
Yeah.
and like fighting it. Anyway,
So
what's your story?
what's
on
your sleep like, David?
Hit it.
Gandelman?
Oh, no. Let's move on. All right.
You have a whole sleep podcast, right?
Sleep is very exciting. I do.
I do think it's exciting.
Yeah. So I have a bit of a ritual for sure. I do take some supplements. I take some CBD because my brother sends it to me.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
So you don't have a psychoactive reaction to
CBD? No, it's just hemp. There's
Well-
no THC in it.
Oh,
Just-
okay.
You
So,
don't get high.
but it's effect. Well, actually, I had a cannabis expert on Charmed Life a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago, and she said that CBD can actually give you that a psychoactive
I
response too.
I used to feel a little bit of a something, but it's very, very
Like a
mild.
body buzz, right?
Yeah, just
yeah.
very light.
And I've
I just-
taken it.
Two little
Yeah.
drops.
Well, I would be interested in that whole body buzz thing that people talk about, but I have like with THC, no.
No. Well,
No.
THC and
No
CBD.
tea. I do not
I can't.
smoke weed
Except for unless he's hanging out with Pitbull.
Oh, no, I can't. I can't tell that story.
Why
Wow,
can't?
you already outed Pitbull twice, haven't we? Already?
No,
Yeah.
that was us hanging out in
That
person.
was in private.
Who did? Oh, that was Nick last week when we were talking about.
Oh yeah, we talked about it.
We talked not about Pitbull. We talked about his boss.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we weren't supposed
Drake.
to out his boss.
We outed him again. Drake
Former
was a
boss.
party man. Surprise.
All right.
Okay, keep going.
But anyway, so I take some CBD, and my brother's company's really cool.
Right
It's
in there.
headandheal.com. He has an awesome.
Head
He
and
grows
Heal,
it.
okay.
He grows it himself. He processes it. He bottles it. He's such a mad scientist when it comes to farming. So I
It's a
love everything
fascinating
he makes.
topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll take. What else do I take?
Benadryl.
No. Sometimes
That
I'll
works
take
every
like
time.
California poppy, which is like just
Like an
kind of
essence.
herb, an
Yeah.
essence of
Yeah.
something. Yeah, very simple.
Heroin.
It's a flower essence.
And then magnesium for sure. I think most people should take a little bit of magnesium.
but which
before bed.
magnesium do you take? Because there's glycinate, and
Glycinate, yeah.
that's the one.
I don't know.
Or
Is that what's
One
the
starts with a
active
C and one-
agent? Is that what's in milk? That was always my perception, that magnesium in milk is what made people sleep from milk.
I have no idea.
oh no,
a
that's
great
L-tryptophan
question.
when you warm it.
Oh,
But there is magnesium in milk, right?
Probably, I don't know. But I know that L-tryptophan. It's also in turkey and
Yeah, but I
when you
think
warm milk.
magnesium was always what they talked about. Like pediatricians would say, that's what makes the baby sleep. if
Oh,
you give a
okay.
glass of
I don't know
milk.
about
That's
that
where
part.
that whole myth came from.
So I don't know what kind of. Unfortunately, I don't know what kind of magnesium I take. But I work with this company called Parsley Health, and I get it from them.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend Dr. Robin Berzin is an incredible doctor, and so I'm sure whatever she chose is good stuff.
Oh, so you
Tell
just
people
take
about
pills from
pars-
anybody.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Tell
So if you're a sponsor, you'll take it.
Yeah.
tell people about Parsley Health because this is a fantastic business model.
Actually, I
And
met
as you
with
said-
rolling right
Robin
now.
yesterday. Yeah, so Parsley Health, you got to check them out. They're this awesome company, and basically you pay a monthly membership. You get a doctor and a health coach, and you get all your blood work done, your allergy tests if you want, your food sensitivity tests, and then most doctors, you go to them and they just like see if something's wrong. If it is, they give you a prescription. If it's not, like get the fuck out. But Parsley Health is like a very holistic, like whole person practice approach. So the doctor meets with you for an hour and a half the first time. Like imagine meeting with a doctor for that long, and they go through your whole thing, your whole life. All
They
of
do
your
it
habits.
online?
No,
You
in
meet with the
person.
doctor? You go?
Or online. You could do either.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you got your health coach, and so it's like a team of people. and they've got some great supplements. And then there's a team of people that just basically watch out for you. And if you ever need a prescription or you have a question, just email them real quick. You can meet online.
It's called Parsley Health?
Parsley Health.
And do they send you supplements as well?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I
so
mean,
do
you have to
people,
pay for 'em, but
do they, like if they were to use Parsley Health, would they also need insurance potentially?
So
Like for
Parsley
other
Health,
things?
yeah.
Maybe
So
more
for all your
aggressive stuff.
testing,
Yeah.
like if you're going to get your blood work done with them, your insurance would have to cover
Yeah,
that.
so if you need an MRI or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
definitely.
course.
So
you need
wouldn't you say
insurance.
that all three of us just described rituals? And to me, most people use rituals
Yeah.
as a sleep, and it can be anything. It can be taking the dog for a walk. It can be watching a TV show. It can be eating a plate of chocolate.
Yeah.
I know people that drink coffee before bed.
That's
And
crazy.
I know.
Well, but
whatever.
I
That's
think,
crazy.
but
Yeah.
that's what David's podcast is really addressing. I love how you said in the first episode that we try to knock ourselves out to be unconscious.
We try to knock ourselves
Yeah,
unconscious instead of
unconscious.
go to sleep consciously.
And that's why I entitled, the title of this is Sleep Hygiene, or Hygiene to Highly Conscious Sleep. And I was quoting you there on that
Oh,
a bit.
cool.
I like sleep hygiene.
Yeah, and because, a lot of people, I'm sure people listening to this are different, but a lot of people don't recognize how important their dreams are and how spiritual that time is, where you kind of go back to the source of just that really quiet, silent space. And I mean, for me, I've had thousands of dreams that have come true, come to fruition. And so the more respect and attention I give that space, the more it kind of returns. So the unconscious and that deeper part starts to say, oh, you're paying attention. Well, here's a message, and here's a message, and here's a message.
Yeah.
So people, it's like sleep is this thing they have to get through. Either sleep is this thing I have to get through to get to the next day, or it's this thing I never want to come out of because I don't want to get to the next day. And either one, that's not a good attitude to have. It's a very sacred space. You should enjoy, almost like a bear, going into hibernation. Enjoy the
I was going to say something to
womb.
Tricia today, and then we decided to do the show, so I'll say it now. The last few days, because I've been working so much, I have not been not sleeping well because I'm like stressed out. I'm excited for my day.
Yeah.
So I've been getting up early, and then
that's okay,
staying up
though.
late and watching movies.
Well, that
and
part you want to flip.
But you still
But
want to
I'm
ground
tired,
it. But you still
yeah.
want to ground yourself so that you can do the thing that is good for your body.
Yeah,
you know what I
because
mean?
then
And
I'm
your brain.
burning out. Like yesterday, I just burnt out.
Exactly.
Like I hit a wall. I was caffeinated up. I ran. I swam. I cycled. I drank 20 cups of coffee. I met with a bunch of people I hadn't seen in a few months. And I was
You did
like,
one of those text everyone you know and see who
yes,
responds.
and
things.
I saw everybody.
Yeah, they
and
all
I was
said yes.
all over. Yes. So I was like, coffee with like 10 different people because everybody I know is sober.
Coffee doesn't mean you have to literally drink coffee.
And then just all of it. So by the time 6
You
o'clock
do
came,
great in Spain.
huh? Yeah,
You should go live in Italy or Spain.
And I didn't have the stress and pressure of work to speed it off, to burn it off.
Yeah.
So then I just hit like a spin out wall and slept poorly last night. And today I woke up not excited. But today I was like, okay, now I'm really cooked.
But see, when you're excited like that about your day, or if
Yeah.
you're anxious about your day, it's like the
It was a
same kind of.
different than-
It's
yeah.
a lot of energy just being filtered either through love, so basically for the excitement about what's going to happen, or fear, and that's the anxiety about what's going to happen. But you still, regardless of that, is you want to ground that before you go to sleep. And what's the name of your podcast again?
Grounded sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Grounded. Wait, did you just
podcast.
really ask that again?
No, I was kidding. Yeah, I know. the name.
Pounded sleep.
The pounded sleep.
Because I
podcast.
think we can go back to how helpful that is for a good night's sleep.
Pounding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but again, that
Let's
is
face
really for men.
Magnesium.
The way that
fine,
the-
Side note,
but how many of you
valerian
would
is
like
really
some
good.
vitamin
Valerian.
liver?
Valerian root.
Yeah, valerian root and valerian tea I like a lot.
Yeah.
But for men's the way the men's physiology works is that you do get tired after orgasm, but women don't necessarily. It can actually crank us up for some
crystal clear
reason.
on
We
that.
don't know.
I don't
We
get
do.
tired after orgasm.
You don't have time to get tired. You're to sleep already.
Yeah.
Sleep halfway through the orgasm. Girl,
And you're
so
single?
I am.
He is single. ladies.
That's why you never park anyone in.
What does that mean?
So
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
You never park anyone in.
Oh, like with your
Park.
car, so they can't get out.
Yeah.
Because then they have to get you up.
Yeah.
That's.
Oh,
Aiden, you've,
sorry,
You've
I
done
didn't know
this
what you
too
meant.
much, Aiden.
I thought you were talking about falling
Here's a
asleep
rule.
inside
No
someone.
matter what's happening, I'm like, nobody's parked in, are they?
I thought
Because I'm going to be asleep.
I was actually going dirtier. I thought that you meant falling asleep inside a woman.
Oh, yeah.
I guess a man.
No, totally.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a thing. Haven't you ever done that?
I don't
I mean,
think
had
so.
that to you?
No, I don't think
No?
so. I don't remember.
It's a nice, I
don't
actually like
think
that.
I've done that.
You
to
haven't?
anyone.
That's
No.
nice. What do you mean? That's a really intimate, nice thing.
That's.
Especially when you're trying to have a baby.
Okay.
Plug it
Haven't
in.
tried that yet.
I have had lots of trying baby sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you plug it in.
Keep plugged in.
Yeah, you can just fall asleep and then come back at it sometimes.
Well, I'm usually on top, so my knees in that position are not very comfortable to sleep in.
Right? Yeah, for too long.
David's
no.
I like the
blushing.
sleeping. No,
Brian?
call in if you've done this. Have you ever done this, Kurt? Like fallen asleep inside and woken back up and then
Yeah,
resumed?
Kurt.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I have not.
You're missing out.
I mean, I guess I am. It sounds like it from this.
Super
this
fun. That's like
conversation.
lazy summer day sex.
I've not been asleep with
It's called fucking through.
it inside, but I've been like
Fuck through.
we've been hanging out while it's inside.
Yeah, and like chit chat, take a break.
Yeah, like, so how was your weekend?
No, but I mean finish, stay there, and then
want to
resume.
play
That's how
chess?
dogs
Should
do
we
it.
play chess?
Have you ever seen dogs get stuck?
Yeah, and they get stuck.
Because the vagina,
Oh, my.
the dog's vagina actually
I'm
swells.
not going to have a grounded sleep tonight.
And so it's so funny. Like it happens a lot in Texas because you have all kinds of feral dogs, and
I'm
so
gonna
you'll be
send
like,
you at like what
just
time-
two
I'm gonna
dogs stuck
send you
together.
tonight, like there's intermittently throughout the end of your night, I'm gonna send you dogs fucking and like some bestiality shit just to rock his world. You're gonna need a lot of magnesium tonight, brother.
Oh my lord!
You guys
oh
are making it
Lord.
very difficult for me to find pictures about this show today. Just so you guys know.
Totally true.
it's not
So
difficult.
anyway, ice cream Sundays
Well, make
are
it
my
appropriate.
favorite at night. I actually do like ice cream at night a lot at the end of the night.
Yeah.
And I will have a
Ugh,
big bucket
that's
of ice
sugar.
cream. No, and it's totally great. It's great for me.
I don't like ice
And it
cream.
makes me, here's what happens. I
No, that's
roll
not
a
a
nice
good
high.
idea.
I get super high sugary,
That's
and then I
also not a good
crash and
idea.
black out.
Oh, so you're kind of still working in the habit that you used to have when you drink.
I know a lot of people
Little bit.
eat ice cream before bed.
Yeah. No, I think it's a thing. Right.
Yeah, it is a thing. A lot of people do that.
Oh, I couldn't do that. David, so how do we ground our sleep? And yeah, tell us a little bit more about the podcast and sleeping, going
Yeah.
into sleep with high consciousness.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you get into bed, well, first of all, you definitely want it to be as dark as possible,
Yeah.
as quiet as possible, and you want the temperature to be, low 60s, maybe high. Everyone's different, but like I think
I
for
love
me, like
cool sleep,
low
yeah.
low 60s
Me
is
too.
good.
I do too.
And then you
I like it.
kind of stay warm under the
I
blanket.
hate heat
but
on.
There's also these pads, like Tim Ferriss talks about them a lot, like they keep your bed at a certain cool temperature.
Oh,
when you
really? I
sleep
like
on.
that.
I can't
Okay.
remember what the name of it is, unfortunately. So set yourself up for success. And then you want to take all your technology, which I'm guilty of not always doing, and taking them out of the room and maybe using an alarm clock. So just the alarm clock wakes you up, or nothing if you don't need anything, but just taking the tech out of the room so that it
But is
doesn't
that for
force you.
EMFs or is that because of compulsion to
EMFs,
want to look
but
at
also just compulsion. To
Oh, I don't have any compulsion.
That addictive.
Again, if you have kids, I have kids, and I saw that out of the room. Most people who are like, if you have
Well,
kids,
then you
that are
need to
in
keep
and
your
around.
phone in case
Yeah.
they're going to text.
But I
or
put it in the
something.
drawer because of the EMFs,
Yeah.
Oh.
so I
Okay.
can hear it.
I sleep with the laptop on my chest. Is that?
it. You're gonna have breast cancer. You have breast cancer now.
My kid used to do that all through high school, and
Really?
it bummed me out so bad. And I
Yeah.
knew that's terribly wrong
Yeah.
because they play games and they're doing like things.
Yeah,
Yeah, just always have it either on their lap, which would be my future grandchildren.
Oh.
All of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
I
then
did get him that pad thing. That
and then
covers it.
the best thing you could do is to fall asleep meditating. So
Mm-hmm.
meditate laying down, do a body scan,
Mm-hmm.
listen to a sleep meditation.
I do a lot.
Yeah.
I actually do that a lot.
Yeah.
That's a great way to fall asleep and
I
fall
do
asleep
too.
with intention.
Do you
I-
listen
yeah.
to a guided
Oh no,
thing?
I hardly ever listen to guided ones. The only time I ever listen to guided meditations or journeys or something is if I want to. It's like a specific sacred experience for something. But my regular practice I do on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to begin with, if you first of all, I started doing them on planes. I started doing a lot of guided,
Mm-hmm.
and that was before when I was traveling a lot and my life was super crazy. But now I really find, especially because if I'm working like 18-hour days, you know what I mean? Like, so if
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing that kind of a day, I can't find my happy place, and a guided really works for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And even like a 7-minute one will take me there. Then I can do my own for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you use guided meditations for yourself in your regular practice?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't. I do love Insight Timer.
Yeah.
The app. Sometimes I'll peruse on there, get some ideas, and just see what some of the other teachers are doing.
Yeah.
And just check it out. But I don't know. I just do my own thing.
I do
mostly.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
More and more I get to, although I would say, more and more I get to now because my time is, like this last few days is better. But still, it's like I like it. I like them, and I strongly suggest them.
I strongly suggest guided meditations
don't meditate.
to most people. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's hard to really get into it on your own in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning. Yeah, so
And
fall
scary.
asleep. Fall asleep conscious. Try to stay as conscious as you can in a very kind of comfortable twilight. That twilight space, like the sun is going down, but you're still conscious. And then eventually, it fascinates me how we could be conscious 1 second and then unconscious the next. And I'm always like, what does that in between look like? It's so interesting. And if you can stay a little bit more conscious and have some intention, maybe you'll start having some lucid dreams.
Yeah.
You can get in there, start controlling your dreams, flying around, giving hand jobs. I mean, whatever you want to do to have your spiritual experience and really learn and grow.
I don't think
Tell me
Aidan
about that.
gives hand jobs. I think he receives them.
A little bit of both, but I also control my dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're a
I
lucid
do.
dreamer. Yeah.
I'm a lucid dreamer.
Oh no,
and
that
so
makes
I
a lot of sense.
definitely
You would
go,
be.
Yeah. So I definitely every night go somewhere, am somewhere, and then go somewhere else, or just spin it a little bit. And I love that. I have since I was a little kid.
So let's talk about
What
dreams
does that
then.
mean? Yeah,
Let's talk
that.
about
I don't
dreams
know what the
because as
relevance of that is.
David mentioned that dreams are a highly spiritual, psychic experience.
They can be.
It is spending time. Well, it's definitely spending
Yeah.
time at least in 4D, the fourth dimension, because the fourth dimension is mental and emotional. So since we're not using our body, then that's what we're doing. And then in the more spiritual, the more higher conscious kind of spirituality, then we're in fifth dimensional or higher. And so we could be practicing things. Did you just see
It's
that?
like a mushroom cloud.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. We
What
spend.
did you just say? Like, I heard something about the fifth dimension, but I was
dimension.
still thinking about when David said hand jobs. And
So yeah, that's we could spend time with our spirit team or higher self, and basically receiving energetic attunements, instruction. Sometimes when I wake up in the morning, it will have felt like all night long I was just being lectured to, like I was sitting in a classroom, and I may not even remember it. But it was just like basically a kind of download, and I interpret it as being taught all night long. And I have been having, and you can have astral projections or astral dreams, which is basically when you are much more identified to your astral body than your physical body, which obviously in sleep right away we're not very identified to our physical body for a lot of it.
Yeah.
But in so much that it feels as real as walking around on the planet, but you're doing it in the non-physical. And lately I've been having, and my whole life I've had astral experiences, and I don't know if they're only while I sleep because they are so real in my being, about flying, about levitating. And
Those are great.
and so much so though
love
that
that.
it really feels like I've done this. I cannot tell the difference. And I asked one time when Brian and I earlier in our relationship, and I said something. I was like, "Oh yeah, I've levitated. I know how to levitate." And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh wait, no, I think that's a dream," because I forgot that it was a dream. It feels like I really do it.
I like that you have the word grounded, though. And just that when you're saying that levitating, flying, and I feel like the more grounded I am, the more flying I do. So if that means anything.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Right? So
Well,
like,
you're more likely to recall it.
yeah.
More likely to bring it back. That
Bring it
information
into the
back.
Sometimes
physical
and I feel like that's like, for me, I'm very tactile. And so if before I go to bed, I have a very tactile moment, like with my blankets, with the room, with sometimes like even the plants in the room or whatever.
Oh, that's nice.
It grounds me. And then I notice immediately that even if I'm super tired or I'm going to have a limited amount of sleep, I can get very, I guess, astral or fifth dimension quicker.
Yeah, and lucid
having
dreaming.
gotten tactile.
Lucid dreaming is right in that area of having the astral experiences. It's like somewhere around there. It's not exactly the same thing, but it can be. It can lead right into that astral experience.
I usually have a little bit of an anxiety, what I'm currently afraid of dream right away. Like that comes right into my first set. And sometimes like halfway, and I'm living it, being in it, certainly not being any kind of control over the thing. And then I'll be like, okay, I don't have a lot of time tonight. So we just have to move on. Like drop that eviction notice, let that car catch on fire because I'm now gotta go. and like whatever the fears are, like it's usually money or kids or,
Sure.
like stuff that I need to fix. And then, but I will hit this wall and I'll be like, oh, I don't have any clothes on right now. And I'm walking on a rainbow highway.
Oh, that's nice. I like rainbow highways.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I think we all got naked and joined Aidan at the moment that he said it.
You have last night.
Do you teach lucid dreaming or astral projection in your
Really?
intuitive? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
So-
think
go to
I'm
that.
going to create a course for the Grounded Sleep podcast.
That'd be great,
as, like,
yeah.
an extension. For
Oh my gosh, that would be
astral
phenomenal.
And lucid dreaming would be
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a great book called
means-
Lucid Dreaming by Dr. Stephen LaBerge, which
Mm-hmm.
I think is a great place to start if you want to really explore. And then very simple techniques of like looking at your hands or saying the same thing over and over before you fall asleep, or thinking about one object like a key and to place into your dream so that you know when you see that key, you remember, oh, I'm dreaming.
like the
And then-
Matrix.
so
Yeah.
that might wake you
Yeah.
up inside
Inside the dream.
Trying to wake yourself up inside the dream,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. And then if you ever, like if you're with a partner, I've had times where me and partners have had the same dream.
Yes,
Seen
co-dreaming.
it on
Well,
the-
that's
I
I
love
told
that.
you about Una. Like
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I mean, not my partner, but my daughter, who's 14 and angsty. All of the Carrie / Sylvia Plath 14-year-old things. She had a nightmare and came in my room. Might be adding to my bad sleep week. Once again, good week, but bad sleep week. She jumped into my room on my birthday night, and I had the angstiest, like, I'm unpopular and not pretty dreams.
Oh, yeah. Well,
which
you're
were
such an
not
empath.
mine.
Yeah, you're
Were
such an
not
empath.
mine.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I was like,
Aiden's like, I'm just not popular enough.
totally. I have a bunch of
Take me to
zits.
the prom.
I swear. It was all that petty. And not
Oh my
that
gosh.
petty, but all that not my thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's
there was
petty
a-
for a 51-year-old.
There was a lot of shaming.
It's not for a 14-year-old.
Oh, it was so sad to be inside. And I don't consider, I don't know what it was, but I woke
Well,
up
now
and I
you
was
know
like,
what she's going through.
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
dad.
yeah. Oh, I
That-
woke
that
up
was
and I was
your-
like, oh, thank God that is not me. And I'm smoking hot and everybody loves me.
Oh, all I had to do was wake up.
Bing, one more time. It happened again today.
Well, actually, and what is interesting is, given just the experience of being non-physical or being spirit, having a physical experience, is that, this is really as compared to what we are in a larger sense. This is the dream, actually, being physical. So it's like when we wake up, we actually are going to sleep to actually be paying attention to this illusion. And when we go
If
to
that was true,
sleep,
then my kid is my 23-year-old is the most successsul guy on earth because he sleeps like 23 hours a day. So he is crushing the fifth dimension because he gets out of bed rarely, if ever.
Wow. Fascinating. Really. That's interesting.
Just millennial, little slothful
Yeah.
kid. He goes to work and some stuff, but
but sleep and dreams, I mean, it's so important. And there are so many, I do have friends who have insomnia. And so, like you said, Benadryl, people will take Benadryl, which I think
Yes.
is
Scotch.
a precursor to Alzheimer's in some studies. And
really,
I've heard, yeah. They're not,
I heard that
Specifically, but-
windmills cause cancer.
oh, did you
Well,
hear that?
the-
Yeah, I heard
the
that
myth
yesterday
that- the
from
myth
some
that
redheaded
booze-
buffoon.
windmills cause
Orange.
cancer. Really? Who
He-
said that?
Trump
Donald
said that yesterday.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Windmills cause cancer. The sound, not even windmills, the sound from windmills cause cancer. And Brian turned to me and he goes, see, the best thing that could have happened was that the Mueller report showed nothing, because now he's off the rails and he's just going to say all the crazy
He
stuff.
also said for the third time that his father was born in Germany and his father was born in New York, so that was kind of strange.
Why does he say that?
Family myth.
I don't know why he says anything. I don't know.
I think it'd be really interesting to figure out who his dad is. Like that
his
must be
dad's
where
Fred
all,
Trump.
no. So that's what I'm saying. Like, but who he is inside, because that's
His dad
obviously
was
where
a tough.
all this bullshit's come
cat.
from. He's
Yeah.
like,
The relationship with his dad is what's really
yes, I
messed him
feel
up.
like that's it.
It's 100%.
He is just like he can't do
He's a
anything.
life path forward like you.
I think he's like a spoiled kid, and I don't think he can do anything. Something that dad must have been just a monster, because like he can't.
Yeah.
Trump can't do anything terrible enough to pass his dad. You can feel it in his actions.
He's
like,
he's acting
his
out.
dad is like
all the
was a
time.
monster in some way, and I think Trump, no matter what he does, it's just petulant fun.
I think his family originally, his grandfather made the money from brothels in out like the gold rush or something. Maybe grandfather, great grandfather out west.
Which is God's work.
I think it was grandfather. Maybe I don't know if it's gold rush. I'm sorry, but it was some kind of like Western out there. He opened a brothel bar and started making money, and that was their beginnings.
Luckily, I have not really. I've been on a bit of a media blackout for the last 4 years, so
Yeah.
I barely knew he was president.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
See?
and you know what? Here's the
nice.
newsflash.
David doesn't like that because he's
None of
as
it-
spiritual as he is. He loves politics.
I have a degree in politics,
He-
and my mom
family
worked for
are
Donald
huge-
Trump.
She worked for him?
Yeah, she was his bookkeeper.
Oh, my family are super political. Boston Democrats, and my mom campaigned for the Kennedy, all of them, and all the things. And we have a super politically active family. So I grew up like disassociating all that information. And I
Yeah.
grew up in the 70s and
Yeah.
busing in Boston, like all of the things. I was born in the middle of Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents were hippies. They went to Woodstock.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. and by the time I didn't even have a social security number or a name until I was like 18. It said,
You
You're
didn't
a
have a
ghost.
name.
no, it just said male Demarest. The hippies
The
didn't.
security
The
state couldn't
hippies
find you.
wouldn't,
It said male. It
It
didn't
just
say
said-
baby
it-
boy.
it just said
They usually-
male Demarest.
They usually say baby boy.
Because they wouldn't fill anything out because they were afraid of the draft. So like I was always like until I was like 18, it was a possibility that I could just split town.
Oh,
It was a thing in the
fascinating.
70s
Yeah,
because they
no,
were
I can
avoiding.
imagine.
They didn't want the kids to be. Your number would come up.
Now it's just different. You just go to war if you're poor.
Oh, here we go. We are getting political.
Well, no. Let's
I
get
thought
back
a
to
lot of people
sleep.
like to go into war
Oh.
still, don't they?
Yeah, but it's just, I think the military has more
way.
poor people
Yeah.
now because it's a great opportunity. The army will
that's
pay
right.
for college where, during
I like
Vietnam,
how
everyone
Trump is
was
like starting
drafted.
all these wars in his head, and he's
Well, there's
absolutely
also-
never been in the service or done anything.
I would
like
say there's
most
a,
politicians.
but I'd say there's a cultural aspect to it too, because when you are, this is generally speaking, but lower socioeconomic, like my family was, there's also potentially like there was abandonment in the family, and so they do actually kind of crave that structure. They don't really know what else
I
to
think
do.
the military
It's
I
a
mean,
good
I
way
actually
out.
literally thought
It
of
is a good way out.
It's a
for
great
lot of us.
opportunity for a lot of
Yeah.
people. Find
Mhm.
structure, find discipline, find
Yeah.
your tribe, learn skills, get college paid for, find purpose. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, it can be.
And
I'm the first generation not to be. My dad and was in the Russian Air Force. My grandfather fought in World War
that's
II,
cool.
so I'm the first one not to go. First generation, me and my brother.
How old was your dad? Your dad was
No,
in
my
World
grandfather
War II?
was.
Oh, I was like, your
Yeah.
dad was in World War II? My dad wasn't even old enough to be in that.
No, he wasn't.
My dad would have been the first generation, and obviously, like I'm saying, Vietnam happened, and all of my uncles and nobody went to war. They all deserted, or my dad had 3 kids. But the generation, all of them before that, especially Irish Catholic Boston, everybody went to war.
Right.
Um,
I think with people being so
Or in the
like
military, not
disenchanted, it's harder for people to feel that like I'm doing something with purpose anymore.
disenfranchised. Even.
Disenfranchised.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say though. I still wouldn't say. I don't. I guess maybe because I grew up with that background. I don't feel like the military. I feel like the military don't just navigate wars. There is a lot of.
Oh, yeah, of
There's a
course.
lot. I mean, there is a lot of really great structure and sort of things that happen. They're not just like running around like there's peacekeeping that is not warlike.
Of course,
that
yeah.
happens throughout the
the
country.
Grounded Sleep podcast.
I know, because we're almost out of time. Let's talk about the Grounded Sleep podcast, and let's
We're-
talk about I think
So the
I
grounded
really want to.
sleep part. What's the grounded part?
Well, like
The
what
whole
we were
thing,
saying, yeah,
hopefully.
yeah.
Right.
What is the grounded part? Yeah, the whole thing. Really, the goal of the podcast is just literally to get people to sleep in a conscious, healthy way without needing to take any supplements. Well, supplements are fine, but any medications,
Yeah.
hopefully.
So you wouldn't
Chemicals,
say
harsh
like
chemicals.
Seconal in a grounded sleep.
Exactly. Probably not. I mean, you could if that's what you need.
That's a sweet ride.
Yeah, and
Or having to knock, or even
I've
knock
had-
yourself out with booze too.
I've had
people do.
times where like I've been through like emotional turbulence, like heartbreak, where I had a hard time sleeping, and I was like, man, I wish I had some help with this to get to
Yeah.
sleep. And so it's kind of how the podcast was born.
Mhm.
I usually make content that is relevant to me that I need.
Well,
That's
yeah,
why I have
that's
a healing from heartbreak course.
well, that's
It is so hard to sleep when you've got a broken heart. That
well,
is
but the thing
number
is,
one
that's
thing
why I
having.
called this hygiene, because I think
Interesting.
Yeah.
we're talking about hygiene, just like having healthy sleep, but it's even so much more than that. It's a way that we live a third of our lives, and it is a highly
Aidan an eighth of
conscious
his life.
time.
but Yeah.
yeah, lately only an eighth.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, especially when
tomorrow
the kids were little.
tomorrow morning, I'm going to see Ariana Huffington speak. And
Oh, you
she's
are?
like the sleep person. Yeah.
She's
I
a
had-
sleep person?
Yeah, she's got a book on sleep. She's like the biggest sleep evangelist in the country probably
Mm.
these days. So I just had a guy on my podcast, Energy Matters. His name's John Amaral, and he travels everywhere with Tony Robbins. He's his energy worker and chiropractor. Like goes on the jet with him. He does it all. And anyway, so he is friends with this guy Dave Asbury, who has this company called Bulletproof. You know, Bulletproof Coffee.
Love it.
Okay, so he got me a ticket to this conference this week. This Bulletproof conference in LA. So it's gonna be 3 days of biohacking.
And they have a CBD bulletproof.
Do they?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Yeah. So tomorrow morning, Dave Asbury and Ariana Huffington open the conference, and I get
It's
to
interesting
go.
that
That's
a
so cool.
coffee
It's
is going to
exciting.
be at that sleep conference.
Oh no, it's not a sleep conference. It's a biohacking
Oh.
conference. Sleep, I'm sure there'll be some stuff on
Because
sleep.
that bulletproof is seriously like crack.
But
Is
it's
it?
It's good.
I had it for the first
It's
time with
tons
you.
of caffeine.
yeah, and it
couple days
actually,
ago.
and I was thinking about
It's got
this.
protein and stuff in it, too.
Yeah, it has MCT oil and either ghee or grass-fed butter. I don't like the ghee, though. It's gross. Grass-fed butter. And it actually stabilizes the blood sugar. And so, as you were talking about,
Ooh, I might
sometimes
get me
when
one of those.
you have
Actually
blood
might.
sugar instability after you eat,
Yeah, I
that
get really
coffee would-
tired. I'm like,
the bulletproof coffee actually
Really?
really
Yeah.
helps with that.
oh, fascinating.
Yeah. It sustains the sugar spiking, effect, and just gives you a more
I just thought of another
Time
show.
released.
Let's put a little mental post-it in our heads for like food for sleep. Because I do a lot of food for sleep. I do a lot of food for sleep for the kids because I sort of intuitively cook for my kids, and I have always
well. We could just do
picked
intuitive cooking.
food.
I think.
I've
that's
always
like
picked food that knocked them out. So I'm a big fan of like basic because like my whole job basically was to exhaust them as a parent, like so that I would get some sleep, especially because I work nights.
Yeah.
So like food for like I mean I could do a whole show about like a stick of Irish butter pretty much wipes out any toddler.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, just dump that on top of like a piece of toast.
just have them suck it like
I
a
wouldn't recommend it
bottle.
to any of our grown adult people who want to stay one size and not die of a heart attack. But I could put your kid to sleep in 10 minutes with some chili.
Well, we are seriously out of time now, but we need to mention Energy Matters podcast.
That's right.
Yes.
My other podcast, we have guests on. Tricia's going to come on the podcast.
Yay.
That's it's a fun one.
Oh,
You don't want
actually,
me to
I
be
have
on the
another
show?
podcast, Charmed Life
You
with
want to
Tricia
come on
Carr.
too?
You can make Cody blush. His
Cody.
his partner. I said Cody.
Oh, I thought you said Clody.
No,
Clody?
I
Is
was
that
laughing.
Hey, Claudia, it's so nice. It's really fantastic to be
I was just kind
here.
of
Clody?
stammering, but I
Clody?
said Cody.
Clody?
Cody is his host partner. So
Right?
yeah,
My host
Okay.
partner.
it's
Host
his
partner?
Aidan.
It's a host partner?
He's a
What, is it like
Or
a
his
host?
co-host.
Is
Well,
it a
co-host
parasite?
sometimes sounds
Is
like
it
a sub.
Is it a parasite that lives in your body?
He might be.
Cody, where are you?
Well, because if you say co-host, that sometimes sounds like the
When you say
subordinate.
host, I feel like if you have a host, that means that you're like sort of like in like one of those pod movies about like the
This is-
space aliens.
Pod movie. All right, we have a call. Do we have time, Kurt? Yeah, we have a couple. All right, we have a couple minutes. We gonna take the call, Aidan?
Oh, yes.
Why
Yes,
not?
yes,
Let's see what happens.
My mom.
Caller, bring
Let's see
it.
what happens.
How are you sleeping?
Hi, you're on the air. Who's this?
This is Patty.
Hi, Patty.
Patty.
Hi.
Is it your Patty?
I think it's my Patty.
It's your Patty.
Oh,
It's my
nice to meet you,
sister.
sister. Hi.
Right? Oh, it's my sister. You get
I
it?
didn't think I was going to make it under the wire.
Well, I was just about to sign
I did.
off. So thank you for calling.
Oh, I
nice to
can't
meet
believe it.
you.
Hi, Patty. She's the call I made on the way in here. Hey, Spanky.
Yes, and I was in the supermarket.
She was in the store buying. My sister's a great cook.
Oh, yeah, both of y'all are.
Yeah.
Well, how are you sleeping, Patty?
I actually sleep really well because I'm totally exhausted. So as soon as I
There's no
lay
option.
down, I'm
is sort of a
out
family
like a
thing.
light. But I'm thinking that's probably not the relaxing sleep that we're talking about.
Right.
Yes.
But
I think.
I don't have any trouble falling asleep.
Are you getting to sleep early enough?
No.
Yeah, so the
Nope.
quality of your sleep drastically goes down the later you go to sleep. So for a lot of people, if you can be in bed and asleep by like 10:30, if you sleep 8 hours from 10:30 on, it's much better
Yeah.
quality sleep than if you fall asleep at midnight or 1 a.m. It's a
Or
different
3
kind
or
of
4,
sleep.
like she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that might be something to look into to be a little bit more disciplined about going to bed earlier.
Are you remembering your dreams at all, Patty?
Yes. I do, but the thing with my dreams is I only have them if I sleep long enough,
Yeah.
or I only remember them if I sleep long enough.
Yeah.
And that is usually like through the morning. So weekends, I remember my dreams a lot better if I can sleep in till like 8, 9 o'clock. But otherwise, lately, I have not remembered them. Once in a
Yeah.
while, I'll have one that's like crazy.
Yeah, I have
Memorable, but
when I'm teaching about, my intuitive development people about dreams, they I don't remember my dreams, about it as a resource for intuitive insight. And that's the first thing I always ask is about their sleep hygiene. And they don't get enough sleep, and that's a common side effect. Not enough sleep, you don't remember your dreams.
Patty, what's it like being Aidan's sister?
Oh my
How's
gosh,
that?
I can't imagine.
Wow.
Like being the sister of a tornado.
it's awesome. He's a pretty awesome guy.
He's an
I
awesome
love
guy.
spending time with him. Love talking to him. He has his challenges.
Tell
me a
us.
lot, but he's a pretty awesome guy.
Wait,
That was a challenging job.
I
I
like
got a
it.
lot of positive reinforcement.
Aidan
Yeah.
came to my relationships workshop the other night, and he did
He
so
did?
good.
I really did have a good
Oh, was
time
I
with
there?
that.
Oh, yeah, I
So
was.
good
Yeah.
having
I
you.
did.
I
I
was
went
like,
to a
we did?
relationships workshop,
was
Patty,
sitting
and
there.
I raised my hand when I said I wanted one,
Yeah,
did.
Patty.
which was organic.
Yeah.
I did not
Did
expect
you?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he was
Which I-
sitting behind me, and I turned around and I
Yeah.
said, "Did you raise your hand?"
She's
I was
always talking
curious.
about how I definitely don't, but I'm telling you, he asked, and I was like, just felt it, and I was like, yeah. Why would I be here on a Friday night if I didn't?
Yeah, it was fascinating, Patty. It was a room full of women, all raising their hands, and Aidan.
True story.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Oh, really? What else doesn't surprise you about him?
No.
No stories, Pat. Well, why? What don't I tell here
Yeah,
already?
that's true.
It's true.
You're an open book, man.
Because I'm really shut down about private life kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I was wondering if Mom was listening.
Oh God, I hope not. Where is Mom?
Aidan said that I got in trouble with your mom last time because I talked about blowjobs right away.
The first line, and that's what Mom said. Mom was like, I mean, did she have to say that in the introduction?
She could have waited. Till
She
the
was
beginning.
like,
I looked over at her. We watched that together.
Oh, no.
Okay.
And I looked over.
My mom is
at
very
her, and she
conservative.
was kind of stony faced when Aidan said something about, but both my parents were probably out on dates. I looked over, and she was like just stone faced, and she hardly ever is. I don't think she was mad. I think she was just like.
What did I say?
not
Oh,
know
my
how to
parents were
respond to
out on
that.
dates while they were together.
Well, yeah, I think it was in the
It
context.
was an offhand remark.
Yeah, it was talking about
they
the
were
wedding
dating
vows
other
or
people?
something. Or did I know what it was. There's something
I
about.
grew up with hippies.
Yeah, I was
right.
talking about. It may have been like when I was talking about whether or not
They weren't
about
they
cheating or
weren't that
something.
loose, though.
And you said my parents never taught me about that. They were they were already out on other dates. That's why they didn't
Which
teach
is
me. I
really
thought
not
that's what it
just-
was.
Right.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
She probably hated that, which is not exactly true, especially back then.
Yeah.
But
Whoa.
No,
yeah.
this is comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy isn't
All right.
always true.
Tough. That's the way it goes. She's
The stuff I say
fodder.
about my family is accurate.
Well,
My sister Patty is actually super. I'll out her. She's super intuitive, and she's the first, similar to your and I's relationship, which is weird that you're a Patricia, and so is she.
I know we're both Patricias.
As adults, and now, especially now with a lot more clarity, I didn't realize how much communication her and I had. I mean, as kids, that was not said.
Yeah, telepathic, totally.
Yeah,
totally.
that Patty, that we grew up in a house that didn't have a lot of communication, and a lot of stuff was going on. And when I went home as an adult, I realized how much happened that wasn't said, and has historically happened that way. And that was my first experience with that. And I think most people just kind of assume that that's a sibling relationship, but Patty is incredible outside of me, also.
Yeah, he
very
has another
intuitive.
sister, and I actually don't know her name. So
Leslie.
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 She's awesome.
Is she the?
Colin
Is she?
Leslie.
Colin
Is
Leslie.
there a bigger age gap between y'all?
No, we're all like, Leslie and
there's
Patty are
difference.
like 13 months apart.
Oh, okay.
And
Irish twins.
Yeah, and I'm like a whole whopping year more after that.
Well,
took a
we
year
seriously
off.
though we are out of time. We're over time. But
Thanks for calling, Patty.
That was so fun. Thank you for calling.
Thanks, Patty. Nice to meet you. Let's all
Yeah.
hang out
So glad I
sometime.
got through.
Listen
Oh.
to Dave's
too.
show. Actually, that's actually. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm gonna as well because I'm like the same as you. I think that we're both up late at night because we want alone time.
Yeah, the Grounded
She's
Sleep
got
podcast.
3 kids
Yeah.
too, and it's the only time we get.
I hope you have some amazing sleep, Patty.
Yeah, sweet dreams. Thank you
Sweet
for calling.
dreams.
Thank you. I'm going to go to bed early tonight
Yay.
Good.
in honor of the show.
Yay!
Right?
So nice to meet you. Thank you, Patty.
It's
Bye,
easy.
Patty.
Bye, Patty. It's really easy to go
Thank
to bed
you.
early when you don't have friends. Anyways, really good being
now
on the
it's
show
the-
today. Thank you guys for having me.
Now it's the grounded sad pants
That's
podcast.
sad.
All right.
Grounded
So,
Sad Pants
Yeah.
all right. Thank you so
podcast.
much to David Gandelman coming on. Go find Energy Matters Podcast,
Thanks, Dave.
Grounded Sleep Podcast, davidgandelman.com, energymatterspodcast.com. What else do you have?
Groundedmind.com.
And I'm the one who does a lot of stuff.
PoundedMind.com.
And you can
Coming
find me on
soon.
Insight Timer.
PoundedMind.com.
Insight Timer. Yeah, go find David on Insight Timer. Tons of amazing meditations and programs up there, courses up there too. So that is our show today. We will see you next week. Probably if you want to watch us live at 7 p.m. Pacific, check out next week. Say goodbye.
See y'all later. Sleep well.
Bye, guys.
It actually happens.